Can I get 2 McRib sandwiches, please?
Can you repeat that?
2 McRib sandwiches, and that's it.
Alright, done after though.
Hey, can you pull over here in this silver car for the girls?
Okay. Thank you. So they are finally back. About 2 months late, but they're here. And of course, I'm talking about the McRib sandwich from McDonald's. Now, these things have a really cult following. I'm not sure if the reason is because it's something that you can't really get any time of the year, or if it's because people just really love them. But here in the South, we actually get the McRib every year. I didn't realize that across the country, there were some areas that did not get the McRib sandwich. But McDonald's did say that it was going nationwide, so that will give people an opportunity to get their hands on these. I wouldn't say that I'm a huge McRib lover. I typically get maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 of them a year when they're out. And again, it's probably because it's a limited time thing and I can't always get them. So let's open these up and have a look. Pretty much what I remember. Pickles, onions, barbecue sauce on a pork patty. I've seen people talk about the patty is probably made out of some type of nasty bits, but if you go online and look at the ingredients, the number one ingredient is just pork and basically some spices, things like that. So I don't think there's anything necessarily disgusting in these things, but they taste pretty good. And of course, there's not a whole lot to these sandwiches. But what if you really did want to get a McRib sandwich and it's February or March and they're just not available? Are the other choices just as good as the McRib? I don't know, but today I'm going to find out. I've seen these Fast Bites brand barbecue rib sandwiches, usually at Dollar Tree. I have seen the brand at some other stores, but usually Dollar Tree carries a pretty big variety of the Fast Bites. And it's a barbecue rib sandwich, boneless pork patty with barbecue sauce on a bun. Maybe not the same exact thing as a McRib. I'm quite sure this was developed as an alternative to the McRib. From a visual standpoint, the main difference here is that this has more of a hamburger style bun versus the McRib that has an oval style bun. Let's compare the ingredients of the McRib and the Fast Bites barbecue rib sandwich. And also, the Fast Bites barbecue rib sandwich is only $1 at Dollar Tree. It's a better value, but again, it's going to depend on how well it tastes. Next, I found these barbecue rib sandwiches at my local Sam's Club. These look a little more like the McRib because they're oval shaped, but again, who knows what they taste like. These were $12 and some change, so with tax, you're probably looking at $13.50, $14. Not quite as good a deal as the Fast Bites, but you're still only looking at $1 and something per sandwich. So let's have a look at the ingredients of the Members Mark barbecue rib sandwiches. Now it's time to try these things out and see if they can actually compete with the McRib. On the Fast Bites barbecue rib sandwich, the instructions say to remove from box and open one end of wrapper, microwave on high for 2 minutes. My microwave is 1000 watts, so I think that's a pretty standard wattage rating. So hopefully this will heat it up properly. All right, it's definitely piping hot. Let's open this up. So we've got a round bun, a pretty squarish patty. And it's definitely heated in the middle. And while this is cooling off, I'm going to heat up one of the other barbecue rib sandwiches. The heating instruction on the Members Mark barbecue rib sandwiches say to remove product from wrapper and wrap in a paper towel. Heat in the microwave on high for 1 minute 30 seconds to 1 minute 45 seconds. Let sandwich stand in the microwave for 1 minute. There are also optional instructions that say, for best results heating, open one end of wrapper and microwave on defrost for 3 minutes or thaw in refrigerator overnight. 2, heat in microwave for 50 to 60 seconds on high power. Let sandwich stand in the microwave for 1 minute. So I'll cook 2 of these and do one each way, because if it does make a difference on how it's heated, it could make a difference in the review. And these are definitely more McRib shaped. So the first one I'll cook, I'll wrap in the paper towel. And I am going to cook it for just 1 minute 45 seconds to be sure that it's completely heated. Okay, so it feels pretty well heated. Plenty hot enough in the middle. And while that cools off, along with the fast bites, I'll cook the next barbecue sandwich with the alternative cooking directions. So I'll open one end of the wrapper. And defrost for 3 minutes. Okay, so now it says to heat for an additional 50 to 60 seconds. We'll just do 1 minute. While the second Members Mark barbecue rib sandwich was cooking, I remembered that I was supposed to leave the first one in the microwave for about 1 minute after cooking, which I completely forgot about. And it also said to do that for this one, so I decided I wouldn't do it for either one of them. I'm not sure if it's going to make a difference or not, because first the sandwich was heated up all the way through to the middle, and it appears that this one is too. This one's really, really hot. It did leave some of the ink from the wrapper on this plate, so I'm going to go ahead and switch the plates out. Now that I have all 3 of the sandwiches heated up, let's compare them to the original McRib. So here's the Fast Bites barbecue chicken rib sandwich. Here's the first Members Mark barbecue rib sandwich. Here's the second Members Mark barbecue rib sandwich, cooked with alternate directions. And here's the original McRib. Now, just looking at these right off the bat, the obvious difference is that the McRib is on a different style bun, whereas all the others come on just a sesame seed bun. One is a hamburger type bun, and the others look like small hoagie type buns or something like that. So removing the buns off of each sandwich, again, the obvious difference is that the McRib comes with onions, pickles, and of course the barbecue sauce is going to look a little better because it's a fresh sandwich. So to test each sandwich individually, I'm going to cut off a piece of McRib and eat a piece of each of the competing sandwiches. So first, I'm going to try the Fast Bites sandwich. So here's the Fast Bites, and here's the McRib. The Fast Bites is not a bad sandwich. It has a very distinct smoky flavor. It could probably use a little more barbecue sauce, but it's really not too bad. The meat seems a little spongy, but nothing too terrible to the point where I wouldn't want to eat it. So now the McRib. My first thoughts on the McRib are the bun is much softer. I bought these McRibs about an hour and a half ago, so it's been sitting here the whole time while I heated up these other sandwiches. But this bun is considerably harder than the McRib bun. And biting into the McRib meat, it definitely seems that the meat is more of a premium meat. It's really a denser patty than on the Fast Bites, and it doesn't have so much of a smoky flavor. The Fast Bite seems to have a smoky flavor built into the patty, whereas the McRib, it just has a little smokiness and a little tanginess from the barbecue sauce. I didn't really get any of the pickles or onions in this particular piece, but that's okay because I'm sure I will on the next ones. So this is the first Members Mark barbecue rib sandwich that I cooked. And it's still fairly warm. The bun is not quite as soft as on the McRib, but it's not as hard as the Fast Bites. So here's the Members Mark barbecue rib sandwich and the McRib. This Members Mark barbecue pork rib sandwich is very good. I actually prefer it much more than the Fast Bites one. It has a little more hint of smoke than the McRib does, but not as much as the Fast Bites. But the bun is still fairly soft. The meat is good. Seems like there may be a little more barbecue sauce on this one, but I really like this one. So I did get some pickles and onions in this particular piece, which makes a difference. And I'm not even a big pickle person. Pickles, I can eat them or not eat them, it doesn't really matter. But it really adds something nice to the overall sandwich. So while I may give a very slight edge to the McRib, only because the bun is a little softer and it does have the pickles and onions, I'm really liking this Members Mark barbecue rib sandwich. So here's the next Members Mark barbecue rib sandwich that I cooked with the preferable directions. Yep, I don't notice any difference in the way this one or the other one was cooked, but it's a good sandwich. I'm not even going to bother tasting the McRib because I've already did that for the previous sandwich. But I want you to notice the patties. Very, very similar, really dense packed meat. The McRib bun is going to be a little bit softer than the Members Mark barbecue rib sandwich, but the Members Mark is not hard by any means. But those patties seem very, very similar. Very similar taste, very similar texture.
And when I compared the ingredients to the Fast Bites and the Members Mark patties, they're nearly identical. But yet there's a really big difference in the texture of the meat. The Fast Bite patty seems more like a piece of sausage more than the patties on the McRib or on the Members Mark do.
And here's the Fast Bites barbecue rib sandwich, and here is the Members Mark. You can see it's just a different type of patty. This one is a little more grainy, a little more spongy, not dense like the Members Mark or the McRib. Since the Members Mark sandwiches are pretty good, and besides the bun itself, the only other real difference I'm finding are the pickles and onions. I'm going to add a couple pickles to this sandwich. And I'm going to put some shredded onions. Now I'm going to see if this can really come close to rivaling the McRib. This Members Mark barbecue rib sandwich is a really good sandwich. It's very, very close to the McRib. The main difference being the bun and the fact that it doesn't have fresh barbecue sauce on it, which is of course completely expected, being the fact that it's a frozen product. Now I could go and add a little bit of barbecue sauce to this. I don't think it's necessary. But at this point, I would say the McRib holds a slight advantage, but I would have absolutely no problem buying the Members Mark barbecue rib sandwiches when the McRib is not available. I think it's that good. And I would probably not be buying the Fast Bites barbecue rib sandwich anymore because it wasn't terrible, but in my opinion, it's simply not up to the level of the Members Mark sandwiches or the McRib itself. Alright guys, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to the channel. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.